And our first speaker is Emmanuel Ndahimana from Rwanda. He has a degree and a license in economics and training in diplomacy, project management, and development banking. He's worked as a civil servant, diplomat, and executive director of the African Development Bank, just to name a few of his accomplishments. In 1990, he was forced into exile in Ivory Coast during the political turmoil, and he returned to Rwanda in 1994 to help rebuild after the devastating genocide. He has returned to government service and is currently president of his own consulting firm in management. He was the very important host of the Human Dignity Humiliation Studies Conference in Rwanda in 2015. Now, for all our speakers and for our audience, I want to point out that's a very abbreviated introduction, and I will make abbreviated introductions for all of you, since we could just spend the whole time discussing your accomplishments. So now, Emmanuel, I believe that we will have a video, Linda. Is that correct?
That's right. It's coming.
Yes.
Let me say that I feel blessed to participate in these conversations. From the time this Dignilogue
Take two.
started, they provided.
Restarting. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. I'm going to restart our video.
And this video, Emmanuel, very simply put, presents values, whereas Carol will go next and present, very simply put, the problematic that we're facing. Lyndon will present on a process of forgiveness, etc. And Joy will present on the example of an institution. So we get 4 dimensions of constructing solidarity with dignity. Thank you.
Let me say that I feel blessed to participate in these conversations. From the time these Dignilogues have started, they provided an opportunity to learn, to practice the best ways to build a dignifying society. As far as I'm concerned, I have learned a lot. I know now that values determine the quality of a society in place, and that the type of mind and spirit of people determine their attitudes and their behavior. And finally, to fix a problem, you need to avoid using the same thinking which has contributed to create the problem. These assertions, these statements are not fallacies. They are real. They can be verified every time, everywhere. If I take the example of my country, Rwanda, when the country was governed by the philosophy of Ubuntu, you remember last time we talked about the philosophy of Ubuntu. People used to believe strongly that everyone needs everyone, that we are all better off when we live united, and we believe in diversity, taking advantage of our complementary talents and skills. They also believed strongly that they belonged to the same family of brothers and sisters, descendants from the same ancestor, Kanyarwanda. And that created conditions for very high level of solidarity between them. They also led to building a society of peace and harmony, where people really had that responsibility, knew how they can contribute to the best of their society. They knew what was wrong and what was right, ethically and morally. At a certain time, those values have been lost and replaced by their opposite. And people started to live in a society of winners and losers, a society of dominators and dominated, of superiors and inferiors, a society where people didn't know what was right or wrong, and all that led to the 1994 genocide, which everybody knows and which Dr. Evelyn Lindner has described with a very high level of research. Today, we are being asked to devise on how to build a human dignity society through solidarity. Indeed, in the times when the global society faces a number of serious problems of climatic deregulations, of very dangerous pandemics, and a very high level of violence, if we try to use the same thinking which created those problems, it is unlikely that we will be able to fix the problems, but we can even make them worse. There is a risk to create a transhumanist future where humans are treated like robots, easy to manipulate for the interest of a few. But if we wanted to build a better society, a society of solidarities and where people care for others and care for their planet, it is important to make the best choice of building a more responsible future where people have the right to take advantage of all the innovations, all the technologies, all their talents in order to improve their lives while caring for the planet, our global home. We are lucky to have some change heroes like Dr. Evelyn Lindner and some others, few around the world, who have proved that that transformation is not only needed, but it is also possible. All what is needed now is to reach a critical mass of change makers involving young generations who accept to improve their lives while minimizing the waste of resources in order to safeguard the heritage of humanity. And in so doing, we are all called to join them hand in hand and to build a brighter future based on better values of wisdom, of humility, of compassion and unconditional love. And thus, we will prepare a better future for us and for future generations to come. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was really inspiring. You give us a foundation to continue the core values that we can move ahead from here to considering if we have Ubuntu, if we have this compassion and understanding that we need each other, we exist because of each other, how come we're still stuck?